Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It's your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today we're discussing a limited edition of 3,000 pieces launched for the 2021 model year, a tribute to the second generation King Seiko. This is the King Seiko KSK Anniversary Limited Edition. The original King Seiko came out in 1961, and then as now, Seiko Epson, the broader Seiko empire, if you were to take all the companies together, it's less like different model lines within one brand, and at times in its history, the different brands underneath the Seiko nameplate have operated more like the independent divisions, the Maison in Swatch or Richemont. And that was how it came about in the 60s, that we had both a Grand Seiko from Suwa Seikosha and then King Seiko from Danai Seikosha. So this is a representative of one of those 1960s King Seiko watches, albeit scaled up with modern fit, finish, and manufacturing. So the watch in stainless steel measures 38.1 millimeters in diameter and 11.4 millimeters thick. It's 44.7 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip and 20 millimeters between the lugs. So it is bigger than the original, but it's not big in the modern sense. The answer to Grand Seiko, King Seiko, was designed to be a premier platform in its own right, and this KSK Anniversary Edition also helps to pay tribute to 140 years of Seiko, the company as a whole. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, you can see it wears well, and I would actually recommend it due to its short lug-to-lug span for a wrist as small as 13 centimeters in circumference. So the KSK Anniversary Edition is for him and for her. Taking a quick look at the strap, you can see it's understated and dress oriented, as it's a bonded strap, so it's calfskin on the bottom and it's a large rectangular scale gator and a semi-gloss finish on the top, but there's no stitching to bind it together. It's bolstered to give it some volume, and it has a folded edge, but there is no stitching, and that cleans up the look substantially. It is a very silky material. You can see it's a brand new Seiko strap. And there are a lot of nostalgic elements here. You can see the period 60s Seiko logo on a lovely chiseled base, so a simple pin buckle that evokes the era. Jump into the case design. It too is drawn from history. You could see Zaratsu polish deployed. This is the tin plate manual polishing method that's practiced at Seiko and Grand Seiko. And essentially the piece to be polished is held directly against a spinning tin plate on a Zalitz machine. It takes about 3 years to learn this art, but the result is black polish on the exterior of the case. This is a hand-finished case. Typically, to get black polish on a Swiss watch, you're going to find it on very small parts in the movements of very expensive watches. So you got a handcrafted watch here before you even get into the dial and the movement. Now, as you can see, it's a fairly complicated case. There's a bezel with a conical profile. It's got a vertical lip. There's a character line that runs end to end. The lugs are stepped out from the case band. There's an expanding bevel on the edge of the lug hood, but then there's also fastening at the end of the lug. The case back is stepped back to make it look thinner on the wrist. And then you can see we've got a vintage logo on the crown. The sapphire, and it is a sapphire, is a dramatically box-sectioned sapphire. It's designed to look like the plexiglass of the original King Seiko. You can see other vintage elements on the dial, the King Seiko logo, the mention of dia shock and jeweling at 6 o'clock on the dial, also the shape of the hands as well as the indices. You can see we've got a double index with a sort of diamond plate pyramid texture to it. All of these little indices and hands, as well as the logo and the frame for the date, are actually finished on diamond-tipped milling tools, and this is done by hand. This is a very time-consuming, laborious manual process. All these little pieces of dial furniture are handcrafted, and they twinkle like cut gems, especially the mirrored tops of the Dauphine hands and the faceted edges of the indices. There's a lovely silver sunburst that radiates out from the center. And the watch includes a modern Seiko caliber, 6L35. You see I have hacking or stop seconds. I have a quick set system for the date, and I have 45 hours of automatic winding power reserve. It beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and I don't think I'm giving anything away when I say it pivots on 26 joules. Turning it all over, you can see that there is a lovely golden medallion featuring the King Seiko logo from the period. The watch is 50 meters water resistant. This watch is made in Japan, and an edition of 3,000 pieces, individually numbered. It's underneath the sticker. So this watch is a fascinating look back, not in anger, but in nostalgia and reverence. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this King Seiko KSK Anniversary Limited Edition.